Hey everybody, it's Nick from Android Headlines, and today we're going to be taking a look at the LG G5. Alright, so about 2 weeks ago, LG sent us a pre-production G5 to kind of get a first look at and get some initial impressions before we get our final review unit. The hardware is definitely one of the biggest changes this time around, and it certainly looks like an LG device in some respects, but it's absolutely a design revolution in most others. So this is going to be the first metal unibody design from LG, and it's also going to be the first semi-modular phone on the market as well, making LG one of the first OEMs to move to a semi-modular design. Now we say semi-modular because it's just the module on the bottom that removes from the G5, not the processor or the camera or the screen or anything like we've seen with Project Era, for instance. However, this is a great step in that direction, and it really shows that LG and some other OEMs are really trying to move towards that style of phone. In addition to this, LG has altered the curved design of its previous generation of G phones. The back still features curved sides like many of LG's phones before it. However, the middle part is fully flat, unlike last year's G4. Also, taking a look at the top and bottom, those curves are going to be going outward away from the screen, while the sides are curved upward, creating some really interesting lines that feel really good in the hand. The actual sides of the phone are going to be curved inward towards the top of the screen, while the back end has a hard 90-degree trim that gives a distinct feel and grip to the device. I wasn't actually sure if I liked this trim upon the first couple of hours when using the device, but over time I actually like the fact that it gives a very distinct place to hold the phone and get a little bit more grip than maybe just a rounded metal body would give. Taking a look at the back, that camera section is definitely a little bit weird looking at first, but upon closer inspection it's actually really cool. There's actually two camera modules here. The first is a large 16 megapixel sensor with a 78-degree angle lens. That's a pretty standard lens that you're going to find on most other smartphones. The really interesting thing here is the second smaller 8 megapixel sensor, which actually has a 135-degree wide-angle lens and captures a super wide view of the landscape around you. This has lots of really interesting practical applications, and it's something that we really haven't seen on smartphones before. In many ways, this design represents a modified Nexus 5X, especially with the fingerprint placement and the camera location. What's cool here is that this fingerprint scanner isn't just a scanner, it's also a power button as you might expect on an LG flagship. The volume buttons, however, have been moved to the left side of the phone instead of being on the back, and now are in a more normal volume rocker kind of configuration. Up top you're going to find an IR blaster and a 3.5mm headset jack, while the bottom actually has a USB Type-C port and a single speaker. Now, most of the time when you think of a single bottom-facing speaker, you're probably not expecting great audio quality or anything, but this is actually a really good speaker, and I was super surprised at just how good the audio quality sounds coming out of this phone. In fact, I never would have guessed there was only one speaker in this if I hadn't actually looked at the device before hearing it. The only negative side is it's a little heavy on the bass side, but everything else sounds really great in general, and I guess that actually means it has bass, and I guess that's something that most speakers on a smartphone can't really claim. Taking a look at that modular bottom, it actually is going to come out with a little press of the button on the left side, and you're just going to pull it straight out from the bottom. It comes out smoothly from the body and has a single connection piece on the right hand side. You're also going to notice that this has a 2800 mAh battery, which is a little bit smaller than the Galaxy S7. That was a bit surprising when they announced it, given that LG's batteries have generally hovered around a 3000 mAh mark. But thankfully battery life has been really good on the phone. In fact, I found it to be better than the Galaxy S7 on most days that I used it. What's really nice about this little modular design is that LG has a bunch of little accessories like a camera grip, higher quality audio, and some other options that they're likely going to unveil over the coming months. On the software side of the house, there's not too many surprises. It's cleaned up from the previous LG skin, and it's running atop Android 6.0 Marshmallow, but in general it looks pretty similar to the other LG skins that we've seen on the rest of the G series. Organization is a little bit better in many areas. Feature-wise, it's pretty similar to the V10 in many ways, although again, visual tweaks here and there keep it feeling pretty fresh. We're not going to comment too much on the software right now since it is a work in progress, but that launcher definitely needs some help. This is that controversial removal of the app drawer, and it really is a pretty terrible decision as far as navigation goes. LG has been really great about receiving feedback, so hopefully we'll see the option to bring the app drawer back in the final G5 product. Obviously you can change out defaults in Android, but a lot of users don't do that, so it's important that an OEM gets it right out of the box. So the camera seems to be every bit as full-featured as the V10, which is incredibly impressive given all the manual modes and all the other stuff that the V10 can do, and you've got the two cameras on the G5 that can be used either independently or together depending on the mode you're in. There's some different collage modes that can use both cameras at the same time, adding in different shapes for different effects, and using the different angles on each camera to make an interesting collage and other effects like that. In addition to this, you can even switch between the cameras when you're recording video, which is really cool when you're going for just a little bit more interesting effect in your videos. Even that crazy manual mode from the V10 is here that includes all the ISO, exposure, shutter speed, manual focus, every other adjustment that you can pretty much think of as far as photography and videography go, you could probably make here. LG is definitely pushing their camera software, and it's really, really good to see. Overall, the phone feels absolutely amazing. I cannot wait to get the final one in my hands. The user experience is fast, fluid, it's mostly beautiful. The hardware is downright gorgeous and just feels fantastic in the hand. We hope you enjoyed this first look at LG's brand new G5, and look for that full review in the weeks to come. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Of course, you can check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Google+, wherever you're at, we're at. Thanks for watching. Till next time.